Have you ever wondered why some people stay in soul-sucking jobs for decades? Why do people linger in stale, loveless relationships for years, not miserable enough to leave, but certainly not happy enough to stay? And here is the strangest part. Why do people who face catastrophic life events, like a sudden firing or a devastating breakup, often bounce back and find happiness faster than those who are just kind of bored with their lives? This is a cruel joke played by the human brain, a phenomenon backed by science. Welcome to the world of the region beta paradox. This theory explains why a situation that is moderately bad is actually far more dangerous than one that is extremely bad, and why the phrase, "It's okay, I can handle it," might be the most terrifying curse you can cast upon yourself. To understand this mechanism, we must look at the work of Harvard psychologist Daniel Gilbert. Imagine a commuter. If his destination is just 1 mile away, he will choose to walk. But if the destination is 5 miles away, he will choose to cycle. The fascinating result, the person cycling to the farther destination arrives faster than the person walking to the nearby one. The longer distance triggered a change in mechanism, from legs to wheels, while the shorter distance didn't trigger a change, it just encouraged slow tolerance. This is the region beta rule in a physical context, but when we decode this psychologically, it reveals the eerie function of our psychological immune system. Humans possess an incredible mental defense system. When we encounter severe trauma, the death of a spouse, bankruptcy, a physical tragedy, this system deploys immediately, like an airbag in a car crash. The brain initiates cognitive dissonance reduction. We start rationalizing. We find the silver lining. We reconstruct the narrative of our lives. Getting fired was the best thing that ever happened to me. It pushed me to start my own company. You hear this all the time, right? That is the sound of the psychological immune system working at full capacity to heal a level 10 wound, allowing for a recovery speed that seems almost miraculous. But here lies the trap. This immune system has a threshold for activation. Like a smoke detector that ignores a single candle but screams when the house is on fire, your mental defenses ignore low-level suffering. If your misery is not extreme, if your job is just boring but pays the bills, if your partner is neglectful but not abusive, these moderate sufferings fail to trigger the immune system. Your brain calculates, this isn't fatal, we can tolerate this. As a result, no healing process begins. No fight or flight energy is summoned. You don't change anything. You become stuck in what Gilbert calls region beta, a zone of mediocrity and low-grade pain that can stretch on for an eternity. This is where most people fail. We are biologically wired to fear catastrophic failure, to fear the breakup, to fear the crash. But science tells us that intense distress is actually temporary because nature has given us the tools to process it. The truly scary pain is the chronic pain. It's the pebble in your shoe that hurts just enough to be annoying, but not enough to make you stop and take it out. So you limp. You limp for years, causing long-term damage to your soul. Your ability to tolerate becomes the enemy of a great life. A person with a shattered leg goes to the doctor and heals in 3 months. A person with a persistent, dull knee ache might never go to the doctor and limps forever. In the next part, we will explore how to escape this invisible prison. If you are stuck in region beta, how do you break out? And how can you use psychology to engineer a collapse that leads to a better life?
Welcome back to the Prison Break of the Mind. In Part 1, we realized that our resilience and ability to endure are not always virtues. Sometimes they are the chains that bind us to a lifetime of mediocrity. Existing in region beta, the zone of just okay, is a slow spiritual death. The critical question is, how do we shatter this cycle? The answer is counterintuitive, almost frightening, but it is the only way out. You must make things worse. Or at the very least, you must simulate a situation where your brain believes this is unbearable to trigger your dormant survival instincts. The first method is creating an artificial rock bottom. Most people wait for fate to push them off the cliff, waiting to get dumped, waiting to get laid off. But why wait? You can choose to smash your own safety net. Quitting a mediocre job without a backup plan seems reckless, but it forcibly kicks you out of region beta and into the danger zone. The moment you have no paycheck, the fear of death or poverty takes over. That fear is high-octane fuel. Your brain wakes up, your hunter instincts return. You will hustle, learn, and adapt with an intensity you didn't know you possessed. The pain of unemployment will be acute and sharp, but it will be short, leading to a new trajectory that is far superior to rotting in a cubicle for another decade. If you aren't ready to detonate your real life, use the method of amplifying the suffering. Our brains love to deceive us with optimism bias. It will get better, or it's not that bad. Your job is to rip that mask off. Perform a brutal thought experiment. Ask yourself, if I have to live this exact same day every day for the next 20 years, how will I feel? Write it down. Describe the decay, the regret, the emptiness in vivid detail. Magnify the pain of mediocrity until it becomes horrifying. Trick your brain into perceiving your current okay state as a disaster. This hacks the alarm system, forcing the sirens to wail even before the fire spreads, compelling you to act before it's too late. Another mechanism to watch out for is the sunk cost fallacy, which works hand in hand with region beta. We endure a degree we hate because we studied it for 3 years. We stay with the wrong person because we've invested 5 years. This regret for the past forces us to sacrifice the future. The solution is zero-based thinking. Ask yourself, if I were born today with no history, no attachments, would I still choose this path? If the answer is no, you are in region beta. Your duty is to cut loss immediately. Remember, the pain of leaving is acute pain. It triggers healing. The pain of staying is chronic pain. It never heals. The region beta paradox teaches us that the enemy of a great life is not a bad life, it is a good enough life. The fear of losing good enough prevents us from seeking great. We are taught to endure, to compromise, but sometimes compromising with misery is a betrayal of the self. Dare to be in pain, dare to let things fall apart, because in the wreckage, your psychological immune system will activate, constructing a stronger, more resilient version of you. Do not fear the crash, fear the slow, silent rot of the comfortable. Pain is temporary, but the regret of a life unlived, that is permanent.